we meet with new home builders representatives regularly, right? Right now, some of the incentives are amazing. And those homes, Tego, I mean, energy efficient, right? They have a high R value in the walls. They have energy efficient appliances. So somebody buying new right now not only gets a lot of builder incentives, they get a great home that won't need a lot of investment of money over time to upgrade.
That's one of the things that I found in doing my research for that panel and that presentation was that homes built to current building standards are 30% more efficient than home built just like 10 years ago.
And those 10 years ago were being green built.
Correct.
Help, I need some guidance. Help, selling and buying. Help, I need some real estate. Help.
Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 541. It is 4th of July week, 2025.
That's right.
Tracy, we're here again talking about real estate in the Albuquerque area. Of course, residential real estate is what we do. And Tracy, if people want to get a hold of us, they can at...
The best number, 505-448-8888. It's pretty easy to remember, 448-8888.
And you can find us on all the socials and on our website at welcomehomeabq.com. Okay, we got past that. Tracy, you've got a holiday spectacular for us, I understand, for 4th of July.
I'm not so sure it's a spectacular, but I do have a theme of homes that kind of relate to 4th of July or properties.
Okay, I like that.
So we'll be talking about that. We have our flags here if you're online and can see.
Yeah.
I made sure that the set was ready. Yeah. I wore the only thing that looked almost 4th of July that I could think of.
I'm nowhere even close. I need to get that, they always do the cheap, 4th of July t-shirts. You buy a new one every year.
Like Old Navy?
Yeah, like Old Navy or Walmart. I don't have one now. So
you're fine.
I'll get one. Hey, I've got a whole bunch of just kind of market data. Really, there's so much going on with the real estate data right now. And there's a lot of talk about, the market slowing down. Is it slowing down? What's going on with prices? What's going on with home sales? What should I know as a buyer or a seller? So we're going to kind of explore all that, Tracy. And one thing I want to really dial into today is why homes don't sell. Okay, you put a home on the market. And
why homes don't sell?
There's reasons a home doesn't sell when it goes on the market. So we'll get into that. But first, I wanted to talk about some news that came out. Sam, go ahead and pull up the screen there. All right, Tracy, let's talk about the Los Lunas Bridge.
Great.
We've been hearing about this for years.
Right.
That there's going to be another river crossing in the Los Lunas area of Valencia County.
Not just a river crossing, but an exit off the freeway that will take you all the way through the valley across the river.
Yeah, so it'll go from I-25 all the way to New Mexico 47, across the river. It'll go. And so if you're online, you can see the map here. This is a drawing that I found, and it's south of the current exit, down basically right near the prison. So it's just north of the prison when you get off the freeway is where it's going to be. I'm sorry, I just say that because everybody knows where the prison is in Los Lunas, right? And then it goes across through the valley, across the river, the Rio Grande, and to New Mexico 47. So they're finally going to start breaking ground on this. Supposedly, the scheduled start date is August.
That is great.
So next month. Yeah.
So needed. The main street, the main exit off of I-25 into Los Lunas is very congested. And it takes a while to get all the way to the New Mexico 47 on the other side of the river. So Los Lunas, hooray for you. I know that it's painful for people who might have ranches and homes very near that new road that didn't have that road before, but that's why it's taken time, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of battles that have been fought, and I'm not going to go into, who's right and who's wrong, but, for growth for Valencia County, it's a big deal. And speaking of growth in Valencia County, if you look at population growth in the kind of metro Albuquerque area, Bernalillo County has actually lost population recently in the last few years, where both Valencia County and Sandoval County have grown in population. Really a big shocking surprise, but we are seeing a lot of growth in the Los Lunas area, a lot of homes being built in the Los Lunas area, more affordable in the Los Lunas area than maybe some of the other areas around town. So
some great new builds. We're going to talk about new construction also. So it's a good segue. into new construction because, Tego, you and I were talking. The state of new construction right now, you said it's probably never been better if you're looking to buy a newly constructed home.
I was a panelist on an event at the Realtor
Home.
Association last week, and it was at the Realtor Association, but it was sponsored by the Home Builders Association of Central New Mexico.
Right.
And we were talking to realtors about new construction and what's going on in the new construction market, and lots of details. But one big takeaway, I think people that are consumers need to understand that there's some real opportunities out there for purchasing new construction right now, Tracy. And go ahead.
No, I mean, we meet with new home builders representatives regularly, right? They come in our office, they come to our meetings, we go out to their sales offices. Right now, some of the incentives are amazing. And those homes, Tego, I mean, energy efficient, right? They have a high R value in the walls. They have energy efficient appliances. So somebody buying new right now not only gets a lot of builder incentives, they get a great home that won't need a lot of investment of money over time to upgrade.
That's one of the things that I found in doing my research for that panel and that presentation was that homes built to current building standards are 30% more efficient than home built just like 10 years ago.
And those 10 years ago were being green built.
Correct. Well,
right.
and so there's a catch-22 to that too, because yes, they're 30% more affordable, but also, they're 30% more efficient, but affordability has been hurt because of that. That's one of the things that's driven the affordability crunch too. The thing is, let's just talk about new construction incentives, because one thing I say a lot is home builders are very efficient home sellers in the sense that if they need to move inventory, they have the ability to do whatever they need to do to move that inventory, meaning drop price, do rate buy down, do incentives towards closing costs, all kinds of things to help a buyer get in that home. And one of the things we looked at the other day was with rate buy downs. And just to give you an idea, let's talk about rate buy downs real quick, because this is important not just in new construction, but it's also important for home sellers that are thinking of selling their home.
Right.
If it's about the monthly payment, a rate buy down gives you more bang for the buck than a price reduction.
To keep your monthly payment lower.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So let's say a $20,000 price reduction, it's going to lower a buyer's monthly payment. A tiny bit. But a $20,000 buy down to the mortgage rate, that might get you 0.5% or whatever it is.
It's going to be hundreds less on your monthly payment.
So it's going to have a much larger impact on your monthly payment. And now there's a point of diminishing return, and, you have to look at the balance over time and all that stuff. But it's just something to keep in mind. And it's a good incentive that not just home builders can offer, but actually any home seller to help with getting their home moved.
Right. Tego, our listeners know that we can help them with new construction, and we would love to help you with that. A lot of times we hear people, they go, oh, I went out and I bought a new home this weekend at blah, blah, blah agent. I drove in and found a house, and I'm like, great. Did you look at the other two builders down the street to make sure they didn't have a house you liked even better? And they were like, oh, I didn't know there were other new home builders around. So that's part of the benefit for working with us, because we can make sure that you see all the options out there. Right now, some of the new home builders have huge incentives towards your closing costs, your upgrades in a home, towards appliances and blinds and a rate buy down. So some people we have, where they say, well, I'm looking in the $300,000 or $350,000 range, and that's my payment comfort. Well, we can maybe get you in a $400,000 new construction home, and your monthly payment will be equal to or less than a $300 to $350 because of that interest rate buy down and all the other incentives, plus more money in your pocket when they're going to pay your closing costs, right? I think a lot of times people forget about the closing costs when they're buying a home. They are thinking about down payment, but there are loan fees and there are some other closing fees. So Always good to talk to us, make a plan, give us a ring. Let's meet and talk about your home buying journey and how we can help you get into the home that's right for you.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you want to
Where do
talk
you want? Yeah, where do you want to go
Star
next?
Spangled Banner?
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's go there. So my
Okay.
good friend Liv, White's all over it. Horton. Sorry, I walked away from my mic. Came by, brought us her little cute little bucket with some flags in it and some little treats. But DR Horton's having a red tag sale right now, which is always one of their best sales of the year. They have low interest rates and different incentives right now. But it made me think about the 4th of July. And so, I like to keep it light. So Tego, there's a piece of property for sale on 4th of July Road. Do you know where 4th of July is?
I know it very well.
So the 4th of July Canyon, so a lot of you probably know it. It's down in Tehique area.
Yeah.
South 14 on the other side of the Manzano Mountains, kind of on the other side of Kirtland Air Force Base.
Yep.
On the other side of the mountain. So 4th of July Canyon is a very popular campground, and there's a lot of hiking trails in the Manzano Mountains from there. Well, there's a parcel of land for sale right now. It's almost 5 acres, 4.98 acres, listed for $60,000. A well has already been drilled on the land, but there is no pump, though they don't really know the details on it. But the drilling part's very expensive, so that's already there for 5 acres, $60,000. Beautiful trails. There's a small stream that occasionally flows through it. We all know that sometimes those dry up, but in the spring, the runoff, or when you have big rains, those streams really do flow, and that's beautiful. Love to take my dogs out there and let them run in water.
Yep.
Right? So 4th of July campground. Here we are, 4th of July. It's about a 45-minute.
So do you know why it's called 4th of July Campground and 4th of July Canyon?
No, tell me.
Because
Do
in
you
the
know?
fall, the color change up there is unbelievable, and because there's oak and there's aspen and there's a bunch of other different types of tree, and they're all different colors. And so for some reason, somebody a long time ago decided it looks like 4th of July with all the trees. It looks like fireworks. So that's where that name came from.
Got it.
And if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me, but that's the story. That's the legend I heard.
I like the story anyway. We could probably call Jeff Rose, who's an expert in the area.
Yeah, he would know.
He would know. But I think you're right. Sounds good to me. But, we have been out there before just to see the fall colors. So it's pretty spectacular. Okay, 4th of July theme.
Okay.
Let's talk about the neighborhood called Holiday Park. It is a holiday.
Holiday. Okay.
So,
I'll go with that.
So
Yeah.
New Holiday Park is what I usually hear.
Yeah.
But Holiday Park is a neighborhood that's right next to Tramway, south of Comanche, north of Candelaria, east of Juan Tabo, right? Yeah. And it's kind of a well-known, like in the realtor community, people say, hey, I have a new house for sale in Holiday Park. And right away, it's one of those single-story ranch-type homes that were really well-loved. So when you look at them, there's about 4 of them for sale right now. One of them there's 5, but 4 of them are the traditional Holiday Park ranch-style homes, ranging from $320,000 up to $450,000. So the one that's $320,000 is actually bank owned and needs a lot of work. I don't think even
I was going to say,
utilities.
you said 320,000. I said, okay, that sounds like a bargain. But
Yeah.
okay, now I know why.
It's a bank owned HUD home. It needs work. Utilities aren't on, so it's not for your average buyer, right? But the others are on Palm Springs, Golden Gate, Holiday Avenue. So beautiful ranch-style homes in New Holiday Park.
What era were those homes built?
They're in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure you have a story for that. But I'm looking at them 66, 63, 65, and 65. So kind of our age. Not to give it all away, but our age. Okay, I just have one other. So I did a search in our multiple listing service for different words that might be 4th of July themed. I looked up sparkles or, fireworks. There's the street in Las Lunas called Firewheel Southwest, and I've actually sold houses on Firewheel. It's right off of Main Street, right when you get off the freeway and you go south, there's Firewheel. So it's, fires in it. And there's a couple homes on Firewheel for
I gotta
sale.
look up, what does firewheel mean? Because I don't think that, oh, anyway,
You
go
don't
ahead.
think it has anything to do with 4th of
I
July?
don't think it, I think it's a Native American.
Oh, I'm sure it has nothing to do with it, but I was, stretching here to find interesting homes. So there's this other one. It's got the word sparkling in it. It's Peña Blanca. Do you know where Peña Blanca is, Tico?
No.
It's along the Rio Grande between Santa Fe and Albuquerque. And I've sold land up there before when people wanted water rights, beautiful, lush land. So there's a parcel for sale right now in Peña Blanca on Sparkling Moulah. Do you hear that? Sparkling Moulah? I know you're still
I'm
looking up
reading
Firewheel.
up firewheel. There's a whole bunch of meanings, and some of it is symbolic, some of it is a flower, some of it is a wheel, a fire wheel, like fireworks, fire wheel. So that is a thing. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to this.
Can I just say you were right and I was wrong?
Oh, okay. We got that on
Yeah, we've
recorded,
got that
so I
recorded.
might need to
We've
play
got
it
that
once
recorded.
in a while just to feel good. Okay, so there's this land for sale on Sparkling Moulah.
There you go.
What is Sparkling Moulah?
Sparkling Moulah.
Moolah.
I think about the scene from Breaking Bad where they have all the cash in a storage unit. It's like this big pile of moolah.
Well,
What's
this
the
is
character in that movie and he's laying on it?
in the show.
Anyway, sorry, Sparkling Moulah.
Sparkling Moulah. Could you imagine living on Sparkling Moulah? Wouldn't that be fun to go home every day? Anyway, they have a 13.61 acre parcel for sale in Peña Blanca on Sparkling Moulah. Very green, lush, beautiful lot.
Yep,
So,
beautiful there.
I'm really stretching here for 4th of July, but you know what? We're working. So if you want to go and find a house or sell your house, we're here. We're available to meet and talk with you, even though it's a holiday week. Okay.
Perfect. Tracy,
So there we
okay.
go.
Okay, I'm going to go. You had all that fun stuff. Now I'm going to get all serious.
Oh,
Kind of.
good. I love this.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Hey, this is where we learn things, right? We're all much more knowledgeable by listening to what you have to say.
Well, I want to start with some statistics that I kind of figured out, kind of pulling two different thoughts together.
What's the subject headline?
But there you go. Thank you. It's why homes don't sell.
Why homes don't sell. Okay, this is going to be fun. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so it's if you put a home on the market, it either sells or it doesn't, right? You want it to sell, but there's reasons it doesn't sell. And so I just want to kind of pull back on that a little bit, dig into that as just advice for homeowners. But first I want to start with a statistic. So let's jump to the screen. I posted this on X, Twitter the other day, and in what I said is connecting two dots in the Albuquerque market. Roughly 50,000 homes were built during the 1995 to 2005 boom. That makes those homes now 20 to 30 years old. And that's, just to put it in perspective, that's 50,000 out of 300,000 homes in our market. So that's about 1 in 6 homes in our market were built in that era, 20 to 30 years ago. A lot of those homes haven't been updated. And we know that, Tracy. We've seen those homes. And in many homes that are currently on the market, just honestly are looking kind of tired. They haven't been updated. And they're sitting and they're taking a long time on the market. And so, we go back to 2021 and everything sold.
Right.
Didn't matter the condition.
Right.
Right.
Pandemic era, interest rates were crazy low. Anything you
was
put
right-
on the
right.
market, we would have multiple offers.
Demand was,
People
off
wanted
the
to be in a
hook.
home. They didn't
Yep.
want to be in an apartment. It
Yep.
was pandemic.
Yep. And I remember having those conversations. You and I probably, if we go back to some of our podcasts from then, we were saying everything's selling.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it backs up to the interstate and it's in bad condition, it still sells.
Like if you need to sell and your property is distressed, now's the time, we were
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tracy, let's talk about why homes don't sell now.
Okay. Let's.
That perked you up.
Yeah. Well, it's a topic that I'm sure our listeners want to know more about. Why don't homes sell?
So put your home on the market. If you're trying to sell, obviously you want to, get as much as you can for the home. I mean, that's every homeowner's hope is to sell it and net as much as possible out of that sale because so many people, that is their nest egg. So they do need to net as much possible. But, there's reasons homes don't sell, and it's pretty much a given at any time. First is location, right? There's the old adage in real estate, location, 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 right? You can't do anything about that. And
Well, you can mask some of it. You can plant trees or do sound, do waterfalls if you live next to a loud, busy road. But basically, you're not going to move the house.
yeah, it is what it is, right? And I don't buy that whole location is everything, because that's not true. It's not. Because condition, the finishes, the way the home looks, the way it smells, the way it feels, those matter to me just as much as the location.
Right.
Now, both matter, but this goes back to my theme earlier that 1 in 6 homes in the Albuquerque area were built 20 to 30 years ago, and many of those haven't been updated. So there's a lot of homes that have been coming on the market that are not updated.
They're
I was
just,
going to use another term, but I'm going to say they're not updated. They're not
they
spit,
need a
shine,
refresh.
polish. They need a refresh. Now, a lot of them are, but not all of them.
and the ones that are probably the ones that are selling and going under contract in under 14 days.
Yeah. Another reason a home doesn't sell is nobody knows it's on the market.
Right.
Promotion,
Right.
and that's the job of us as realtors, is to make sure that any potential buyer that's interested in that property or could be interested in that property knows about it.
Right.
That could be a whole topic into itself, but promotion, right? So
Right.
how does it get promoted? How do buyers get to it? And of course, the last one, Tracy, we all know,
Price.
it's always price.
It's always price. And it's price for condition and location compared to other properties that are relevant in that part of town or that area. Right.
So you need all 3 components. You need the right location, the right condition, and you need the price that matches those things.
Right.
And so if a home isn't selling, you have to look at one of those 3 and
Right.
and adjust to it.
Right.
And location you can't do much about.
Tego, a lot of times people will say, well, I'm not in a hurry. I can wait.
Uh-huh.
But it's still about price, location, and how the marketing is, right? I mean, they could wait forever, and that price that they think they want might never be hit.
It
Right.
could. It might be, down the road. And of course, the longer homes are on the market, it gets a stigma, and there's that whole thing as well.
Like, why didn't anybody else want this house? I'm not going to go look at it. It must not be a good house, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
it's a balancing game. And if you're, getting your home on the market, get good advice, talk to somebody about, pricing strategies as well as getting the home ready for sale strategies.
Yep. Okay. Do you have any other topics? Because I do.
Go.
4th of July, some of our favorite things over the years. 4th
Oh my
of July in
gosh.
our community, right? So for us, we live in Corrales, the Corrales Pet Parade, 4th of July. It's got horses and it's got cars and motorcycles and shiners and people throwing candy. And
I think the pet parade is during the fall.
it is,
festival.
but I think some people do take their pets anyway.
I was
and the
confused.
horses
I had to think
and
about that. I was searching my brain for going, wait, is that in the fall parade or is that in the 4th of July? But the 4th of July parade in Corrales is so awesome because it's this whole kind of small village thing, and it's great.
Right. And we have pictures of 4th of July where our daughter had our dog all dressed up with balloons on its back, and she was in her 4th of July clothes, about 10 years old or something, walking next to our good friend Nancy Lerner with her golden all decorated and stuff. So there is pets in the 4th of July parade, but they put the horses away from the loud stuff, away from the squirt guns, so they're usually last, and it's just so special, and it's a great time. But there's a lot of 4th of July things, right? There's the whole at Balloon Fiesta Park and the fireworks. There's Loma Colorado and Rio Rancho has fireworks. I don't know. I know there's a lot more, but it's a fun holiday. It's a great time for people to get together, enjoy their backyards, enjoy their homes, enjoy each other. Go to a picnic, go to the lake, go do things, and really, really embrace the beauty that we have here in New Mexico.
Yep.
I love it.
It's going to be good.
One of the best holidays.
Yes, for
Get
sure.
to, I don't know, I might even eat a hot dog, which I don't eat many hot dogs, but
Wow.
you never know. It's that kind of a
You know,
holiday.
I reserve eating a hot dog when I go to the ball game. To
Yeah.
me, that's the thing. Peanuts and a hot dog if you go to the ball game.
We do have tickets to Isotopes also. They're
Oh.
in town over the 4th. And of course, they have a huge 4th of July fireworks
Well, there
display.
you go. Go see
I'm
the
sure those
Topes.
tickets are probably already sold out because it's a popular thing on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Our tickets are on the 5th of July when it's mariachi night, which is equally spectacular in my book. Yeah.
So, Tracy, let's just wrap up with the state of the market in beginning of July 2025. Where are we at? Lots of news out there about, the market slowing down. Many markets around the country are seeing slowdown, price decreases, price reductions, price depreciation. The short of it is Albuquerque's bucking the trend nationally. Right now in Albuquerque, let me pull up a couple things here. I've got a bunch of different ways I look at this, but I just want to kind of give some big picture thing. First off, let's talk about pricing. Prices in Albuquerque have been, let's just call them flat. Well, no,
they're not flat.
No, they're not flat. I'm sorry. That's not the right word. They feel that their feel is that, the activity is kind of sluggish, like walking in molasses. But yet we're basically have the same number of homes selling this year that we did last year. Home prices are trending somewhere around 2 to 3% year over year up.
Higher prices.
Yeah. So I like this chart we're looking at here. This is my favorite to predict kind of where home prices are. So if we go back to the same week we were at, this was end of June
Of 2024.
median price for homes that are under contract. These are homes that are actually in pending status. It was $210 last year. This year it's $217. So it's about 3%. So, at this point, at least the homes that are under contract, it looks like when they close, they're going to be about 3% higher than a year ago. I put a chart up on my Facebook last week where Zillow did their home price appreciation, and they look at every market in the country. And I did a comparison of like maybe the top 300 the top 200. No, I'm sorry. You can look at it about different ways, but I looked at the top 100 markets in the country. Okay. Albuquerque 61 for size. And we're like ranked number 3 or 4 for home price appreciation a year from now. About 60%
on that list
are forecasts for price decreases. We're one of the few that are projected to see price increases. It's projection, take it for what it's worth.
Right.
But we're still bucking the trend nationally. Another chart I wanted to show, Tracy, was inventory. Let me go. It's up here. It's right here. So if you're looking at this for 2025, we have currently the most number of homes on the market this week since
2019.
Correct. So we're above 2020, but we're still below pre-pandemic 2019 levels. Many markets around the country are way above their 2019 levels. Again, we're bucking the trend. We don't see a huge influx of supply in our market. And it depends how you look at that. There's good news for buyers in the sense that we've got a lot more choices. Like we said earlier, maybe some of the choices aren't great. There's a lot of homes on the market that maybe could use some updating.
Right.
I think that's fair to say. So it feels slow and sluggish on the ground, but yet at the same time, homes are selling. 200 homes sold last week. 200 homes will sell this week. 200 homes will sell next week. So the activity is happening. It just doesn't feel as frantic as we had, in those pandemic years for sure.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. So we have a few new homes coming on the market. If you are looking for a house to buy, give us a ring. We'd be happy to sit down and do a strategy session on how to be a great buyer in today's market. Make sure you're equipped and you know the ins and outs of it. If you're thinking of selling, it's not too late. I had some people call me this past weekend and say, have I missed it? And I'm like, no, we can get your house sold, right? So give us a ring. Let us know how we can help you. Even if you just have a question, we're here to help. We're at 505-448-8888. Info or welcomehomeabq.com is our website, right?
You were about to say our email address, which
is
also,
info at welcomehomeabq.com.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Happy 4th. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.